This Sunday on episode 26 of Eye on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
They're coming.
What if I told you there are 27 million slaves worldwide?
They're coming.
Their mothers and sisters and little children. They'd make up what is known as the human sex trade.
They're coming.
I'm 16 years old. It was 2 years ago. I was taken from my home.
This Sunday, to celebrate this country's Tier 2 ranking, Goth and Natasha welcome the finalists of the CTU's Voices Against Human Trafficking spoken word competition. In studio, accompanied by their parents, these 9 young people will tell us about their journey to the competition finals on Tuesday, July 2nd at Sapa. Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Brought to you by the Counter-Trafficking Unit, Ministry of National Security. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday on episode 26 of Eye on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
They're coming.
What if I told you there are 27 million slaves worldwide?
They're coming.
Their mothers and sisters and little children. They'd make up what is known as the human sex trade.
They're coming.
I'm 16 years old. It was 2 years ago. I was taken from my home.
This Sunday, to celebrate this country's Tier 2 ranking, Goth and Natasha welcome the finalists of the CTU's Voices Against Human Trafficking spoken word competition. In studio, accompanied by their parents, these 9 young people will tell us about their journey to the competition finals on Tuesday, July 2nd at Sapa. Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Brought to you by the Counter-Trafficking Unit, Ministry of National Security. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday on episode 26 of Eye on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
They're coming.
What if I told you there are 27 million slaves worldwide?
They're coming.
Their mothers and sisters and little children. They'd make up what is known as the human sex trade.
They're coming.
I'm 16 years old. It was 2 years ago. I was taken from my home.
This Sunday, to celebrate this country's Tier 2 ranking, Goth and Natasha welcome the finalists of the CTU's Voices Against Human Trafficking spoken word competition. In studio, accompanied by their parents, these 9 young people will tell us about their journey to the competition finals on Tuesday, July 2nd at Sapa. Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Brought to you by the Counter-Trafficking Unit, Ministry of National Security. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday on episode 26 of Eye on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
They're coming.
What if I told you there are 27 million slaves worldwide?
They're coming.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I-95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to Dependency right here on I-95.5 FM, live on the Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel. Good morning, Natasha.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And to those of you joining us on Facebook and YouTube, a special good morning to you. Don't forget to like and follow the page and give these young people some support.
Yes, and while we are here, I'll say good morning, Jamaica as well. Tell you all about that soon. But we have, in this radio station, we have 18 people. 18. You wouldn't believe that.
Probably
I
more.
hope we can fit all of them in studio. But the thing is, this is it, folks. This is the moment that we've all waited for. Those of you who have been following that promotion about the spoken word competition put on by the Counter Trafficking Unit, Ministry of National Security, they are here this morning. And we'd like you to give them a warm Dependency family welcome. While we have a chat with them, we're going to be speaking with each contestant this morning, and some of their parents, more shy than them. But
Parents and teachers in the house.
Parents, teachers in the house. We have influencers you name it. We have a packed studio and program for you today. And St. Joseph's Convent, Northgate, Morvant, Laventille Secondary, Cowen Hamilton Secondary, Bishop's High School, Tobago, St. Joseph's Convent, San Fernando. Again, we have two contestants from St. Joseph's Convent, San Fernando, Waterloo Secondary School, a homeschooler, and Waterloo, and another from Waterloo Secondary School. So it's a cross-section of people here in Trinidad and Tobago who decided that they're going to take part in the competition. So we're going to be speaking with them this morning, 2 by 2. We have in studio, we have representing St. Joseph's Convent, San Fernando, is Anya Maharaj. And her mom is standing right behind her. and Anton Jacobs, her mom, you have me the name again? Narina Sukdeo, yes. So her mom, Narina, is standing right behind her. And Anton Jacobs, representing Mova Laventille Secondary School, and his teacher, Miss Simon Harrison, is standing right behind him. And Anton is the only representative for the boys. We tried to find out why this morning, Natasha.
Yes, I don't know why God is making that an issue, but yes, we do appreciate the participation of all of the young people in this competition as we move towards the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. We know that young people are especially vulnerable to trafficking, and so we are looking forward to the grand final on the 2nd. But before that, we want to hear from these young people why they decided to enter and what are their views on this serious topic of human trafficking.
So let's start with Anya. Anya, come closer to the microphone. Introduce yourself. Thank you for being a part of the competition.
Thank you.
So where you heard about the competition?
I heard about the competition from my school. They have a little app on this app called Teams where they post all the competitions and to encourage students to join. That's where I heard it because I never represented my school in anything before. So when I saw this, I wanted to join because this is something I was capable of doing.
So you decided on your own? Mm-hmm. Nobody had to prompt you anything?
No.
You said, I want in?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How did you motivate yourself? I mean, is it your first time doing spoken word?
Yes, it is. I have experience doing poetry, but not spoken word, and I thought maybe poetry can go hand in hand in spoken word, so I thought if I have some knowledge and talent in poetry, I could try this, and so I did.
What about researching the topic? Did you find the topic to be one that you could, jump right into and dig into?
Actually, it was a bit difficult at first because I never had to write or make any poetry or spoken word about such a serious topic before, because normally all my competitions are like writing a poem about carnival or Christmas or something like that. So having to write about this was really like such a turn of events, and I'm glad because it's like opening me up to like new experiences and stuff.
So have you ever? I mean, there were a lot of news items, there were a lot of stories about human trafficking in Trinidad and around the world. Did you ever pay attention to that at all?
Well, I would see it on the news all the time. I would hear about it on the radio, and I was knowing that I could do something about this, and I was given an opportunity to write my thoughts about this. That is why I wanted to join.
She has a strong, powerful voice, eh?
Yes.
So I could imagine.
When she gets on stage, you're going to be fireworks.
Yes.
What is one thing, tell us one thing that you learned in your research and preparing this piece. What is one thing that you learned about?
I learned that this happens to everyone. This happens to children. This happens to adults. This happens to men and women, because it's not only it's human trafficking happens to so many people, and I think a lot of people just seem to oversee that, and some people feel like I don't really have to watch out for anything because I don't think this could happen to me. Right. But that is what people fail to realize. It could happen to so many people. It could happen to everyone. So that's what I learned.
You know, and I mean, listening to you now, I really would like once again to commend the counter trafficking unit for really coming up with this, you know, because now we have youngsters talking about it, and we know how word gets around faster in your neck of the woods, right? So I know you're going to spread the message.
Yeah.
Right. So, but Anton.
Yes.
My boy. how did you hear about this competition?
Well, I heard about it from my form teacher that's standing here behind me. She encouraged me and wanted me to try something new, because usually I would just be focused on my work or reading at home or doing something, and I don't really try to do things like this much. So
that's in he's knocking on the chair.
The chair.
Yes, go ahead, tell me.
So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's how you heard about it. Now the topic, have you ever done spoken word before?
No, never.
Never?
It's time.
So what made you decide to do this?
Well, if I'm being honest, the
Please
iPhone
do.
15.
Was that? Yeah.
The iPhone. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's good motivation. Yeah.
That's motivation.
That was the idea behind it.
But also, I find not everybody kind of looking at it as a serious thing. They're more studying, I want to go out and do this, or I want to do that, and not really being safe out there. And I would like to spread awareness and try to help everybody realize that it's a serious matter. So,
Anton, you know, on a more serious note, you know, you attend a school that, you know, we always often hear about in the area and so on, and how you are able to separate yourself. You both mom and dad, you live with both mom and dad?
No.
Okay, so
I only live with my mother and my two grandparents.
Right. And how were you able, or how are you able to separate yourself from all the negativity from society and focus on your work? Because when we held the meeting with you, you were actually in school still, right?
Yeah.
Doing studies after. How are you managing that?
Well, for one, I guess hopes and dreams, because I kind of want to do other things outside of this country. I want to start a business. I want to reach far in life. So instead of studying all that gang activity or whatever else going on, I just want to focus on my work, try to get somewhere in life, and maybe focus on something else. But when things going on, I would most likely be in the corner or lying with my friends or something. So that is how I would most likely stay out of trouble.
Good stuff. And what was the one thing that you learned in your research about human trafficking?
Well, in my research with this, I realized that as I already said, not everybody takes this serious a topic. There's either be as a big man, nobody not going to come for me and put me in some white van or something. And I just want to say that it's really scary out here, and people should probably just be careful.
So your aim, you want to own your own business.
Mm-hmm.
Anya, what the future looks like for you? I mean, we have, when we're growing up, we have a lot of plans. We want to be this, that, the next, and everything. Anything you focused on right now?
Yes, I want to get into psychiatry,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I think, is really linked to this because there are a lot of people with experiences being trafficked, and I want to help people like that. So that's why I want to get into psychiatry.
Annalise, you heard that? Take this name down. Eh? Because the CTU always looking for good people, But as a teacher, though, Miss Simon can't let you just come in and walk out of the studio. Tell us about, as a teacher, raise the mic for her so that she could just, and could raise it up. So as a teacher, teachers, we've seen it. We've seen over and over and how difficult it is. What made you decide to become a teacher in the first place, and how are you dealing with it?
Well, you raised the issue of being from such a high-profile area. I myself was from Trimakak, and my teachers motivated me to, as we say, get out of the hood. I'm now widely traveled, I have my own school as well, and I wanted to give back to my community and help the students like me with the same socioeconomic background to basically break the glass ceiling, and realize that there is more out here. We have such excellent students already in school to work with, and we have some who need the extra motivation, So I just wanted to add to the amazing teachers that already exist to help other students to see that, it is possible even from such a high-profile area.
No, we know it's a thankless job. We don't see you all.
Yes,
we just see the results from what you all produce, when results come out after exams and all of that. So right here, we want to, on behalf of us here, to all teachers representing, we want to say thank you all very much for the dedication and hard work. We know how important our teachers work.
A safe space as well for the children in your care, because we know that some children come from difficult homes, so making the school a safe space where they can express themselves and learn is an important job. So thank you.
No problem.
And your school is? You said you have your...
Laventille Secondary School, the best school.
Right. But you said you also have your own school.
Yes, I do have my own school, Mahogany CCLI, and we cater to a lot of autistic children as well. So all around, we're trying to work together as teachers to raise the bar, raise awareness, and help students to motivate themselves and self-regulate and not just be a product of their environment.
So if someone wants to get in contact with you, how do they do that? What number can you share with us?
Definitely at 473, that's 473-0688.
All right. Narina, you're not going to just walk out there, so come tell us. Your support for your daughter is important. That, parents supporting children in what they do, that too is a great part of their development. How you feel about your daughter deciding to do this? Because she just come and tell you, hey, Mommy, I'm going to enter a spoken word competition. Right?
So that is actually how it happened, right? So Anya started to write this piece on her own, and so I too am a teacher.
Okay.
And
what school do you teach?
I teach at Presentation College in San Fernando.
Wonderful.
And well, I'm a mathematics teacher, so I have really no talent in poetry or in spoken word. I know nothing about this. So when she said she wanted to take part, I said, well, go ahead, but I really can't offer any assistance. And she wrote her piece and she submitted it, and when she found out that she was in the top 10, she was elated. And of course, I will always support her, and because of her, I learned so much, right? I am learning a lot about this other field, and I just want to say, I'm standing here, I'm listening to Anton, and I am in awe of him, I'm in awe of his teacher, and I really just want to congratulate them both. Yes. On the work that, Miss, you are doing at school, and just, Anton, I'm just so proud of you.
And they're from different ends of the country.
Yes. And they are both, they both took on this challenge, and neither of them have ever done spoken word before, and, just so very proud of them for taking on this challenge. Thank you.
We're proud of you all for the support, right? So, Storm, you're supposed to have that applause button and stand by at the fingertips. So we will take a break, and when we return, we have two more to come in studio with their parents, and these folks will stick around, and we'll have a chat with everybody afterwards. All right, so Anya, Anton, God bless you all. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Thank you. No.
Okay, so we'll see you. We'll see you in the next round. All right. So God loves you all.
Okay, thank
Take
you.
care. Right.
You
All right. Let's take a break, folks. And thank you for those of you just joining us. You're listening to Dependency, and we are speaking with the finalists of the Counter Trafficking Unit Spoken Word competition. All right. So we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna meet two more of the students. So you're gonna if Gabriella Jameson is here, Natasha.
Yes.
All right, and Gabriella Bartholomew. Two Gabriellas. Let's have them in studio. We'll be back.
Yes, girl. Online here with this weirdo named Larry. I'm getting rid of him now. Let's take a selfie. It looking good, boy. I putting it online.
Hey, I thought you say you went to the beach with your parents.
Who's you?
It's me, Larry, from online.
Slavery, a terrible time in our history. The kidnapping, buying and selling of people for profit, the exploitation of another human being. It still exists today. It has a new name, human trafficking. Anyone can be a victim. There is forced labor, sexual exploitation, and domestic servitude. Human trafficking is a worldwide problem and an emerging concern for us here in Trinidad and Tobago. If you know of or suspect human trafficking activity, call the Counter Trafficking Hotline at 800-4CTU or 800-4288. Human trafficking is a crime. Identify it, report it, stop it. A message from the Counter Trafficking Unit of the Ministry of National Security.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on 95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Eye on Dependency. It's a very special Sunday for us as we introduce to you the finalists of the CTU's Spoken Word competition as we lead up to the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons on the 30th of July. And we're very pleased to welcome in studio the next two finalists. God?
Yes, the next two finalists, Gabriella Bartholomew from representing Cowen Hamilton Secondary School, and Tsehai, got that right? The Ollivierre, the only Tobago contestant, the Bishop's High School, Tobago. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
And thank you all very much. And their parents are here with them as well. So we're going to have a chat with Gabriella. Let's have with Gabriella first. Gabriella Bartholomew from Cowen Hamilton Secondary School. Madam, what made you decide to enter this competition?
Well, I don't usually do certain things out of my comfort zone.
Right.
So I love poetry. I love writing.
Right.
So when I realized, I did some research on spoken word and was inspired by one of my teachers, Miss Shakira Burton.
Okay.
And when it was sent to me through a friend, I was like, you know what, it's time for me to step outside my comfort zone and do something. So this spoken word wasn't just like I wanted to say something, because human trafficking is an important matter and we only understand the surface of it. So I wanted a part to say in it, and this competition was a way for me to express a different emotion that I had inside about the matter.
Very nice. So
what else could I ask?
But considering that this is the first time that you're doing spoken word, are you nervous at all about the performance on stage?
Yes, actually, because it would also be my first time on stage performing in front of people.
Really?
And I have stage fright. I have a lot of anxiety too. So when it comes to memorizing, pressure. So this spoken word really helping me to be more confident and put myself out there than just being in my shell itself.
Right.
So that's, yeah.
So a steep learning curve. And what is, before we go to Tsehai, what is the one thing that you learned about human trafficking that you think is important?
Human trafficking, right? I didn't know much about it before the competition. So when I had to do research, I had to look up different news websites. I watched movies. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you, human trafficking is a sick matter. Is a situation that you wouldn't understand until you experience it. So when I realized that it also affects children, and I was doing this research, I felt sick because it could happen to anybody. It could happen to you, it could happen to me, it could happen to my sister, it could happen to anybody. And we make the mistake of saying, that could never happen to me, I know what I'm doing, and saying, but you never know. Children get snatched on the streets easily, and it could be anybody.
That is absolutely true.
You know, she's speaking there, and one of the things that the late pretender said about being a good calypsonian statement, you have to have the gam. She have the gam, boy. Yeah.
The gam.
You have the gam. You must look that up, Natasha. Do you like the research?
Yeah,
look that up.
yeah.
Meaning you have that present. You have the, how you pronounce your words and how you speak confidently. You're gonna do good. Don't worry. That stage fright is gonna go away from the time you go. So your school is gonna support you. Your colleagues, your peers are coming.
For sure.
So they're gonna hear that scream when you walk out there, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's what we want. So this is gonna happen. Don't worry yourself, man. Tsehai, tell us, how did you hear about this competition?
Well, I have been performing all my life, not really in spoken word, but I have been a performer.
I like what she said, all my life.
And I always, every time I'm introducing myself to somebody, I always make that known. And somebody that I interact with in my track and field club sent it to me, and almost instantly I sent it to my mommy, and I'm like, I'm doing this.
Right. Yeah, and what about the topic now? Have you ever, you said you've been performing and before, right? But so you've done spoken word before?
Yes.
Right, but how you felt about, you heard the young lady here, how you felt when you started to dig deep into this topic?
Similarly to Gabriella,
yes.
Gabriella, I didn't know much about the topic, and when I started doing research, I was like, wow, this is a serious matter, and it's not really, I don't think it's taken as seriously as it is. Mm-hmm. And like as Gabriella also said, people always say, this could never happen to me, as I could handle myself, but the reality is it could happen to anybody. You never really 100% prepared, 100% secure, and you always have to be mindful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, as the only contestant from Tobago, how you feel about representing a whole island? And your school as well, of course.
Being the only contestant from Tobago, I feel like there's a little more pressure on me because now not only am I representing my school, I'm also representing Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they think they're ready for you?
Well, I will try my best, and wherever my best takes me, that's where I'll go.
Well said. Well said.
Yep.
So, Madam, stepping out of our comfort zone, and our future looks bright with you all, and we really want to thank you. But before you go, your mommy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, mommy, come say hello to the audience. Introduce
Hi,
yourself.
good day, everyone.
So when Gabriella came to you, were you scared to say yes or?
And I bet I was.
Uh-huh.
And I bet I was. Honestly, I myself don't know about human trafficking.
Right.
But I watch movies, and I told her when she look at the movies, she not going to feel okay because it have movies that brought tears to my eyes, and I never finished watched it.
It was
And
triggering.
when she taking some, it did the same to her. So
Wow.
it is a traumatizing situation for anybody. At the end of the day, I have 2 daughters, and it is bothering me every day. Anything can happen to them out there. We could be walking the street, home alone, anything can happen.
Yes.
But when she decided to take up the project, I supported her as much as I could. But at first she did 2 spoken words.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one, she wasn't too 100 with how she was feeling towards it.
Right.
And then she went through the other one, she discussed it with her teachers and her peers and stuff. And overall, she put the 2 together and she came with this one. So she's satisfied.
Wonderful.
Nice.
Well, we want to thank you so much for the support.
Most welcome. Most
Yes,
welcome.
and I'm sure that the CTU will be encouraged to do this again next year. Please go because, I'm sure this is how things catch on, and this is the first one. So we look forward to continuing. So, mommy, tell us how. Put the mic up for her, Tsehai. When you heard Tsehai decide to do this, you weren't surprised, right?
No, I wasn't surprised at all because she, we are not really on a lot of social media platforms. So we do have a lot of well-wishers and supporters who, her classmates, people that we interact with who would send us, there's another competition. And Tsehai never says no, which is not always a good thing. But yes, it takes a lot to get her to this point. So
right.
Yes, I knew that she was going to take full advantage of the opportunity. And yes, of course, she always has my support, so it was fine.
And she's a track athlete too as well.
Well, she's an aspiring track athlete. Yeah, she recently started track and field, so she hasn't fully blossomed in that avenue yet. But we're working on it. So
but you think we have a potential gold medal winner for Trinidad and Tobago sooner or later?
Well, I would hope so too. She basically, she's one of those children. She really puts her mind to a lot of stuff, and she really tries. So she doesn't like to settle for second and third place. So I know that even though she's still junior at tracks,
yes,
I can see in a couple of years she's going to push really hard. She's been really trying and she's really been improving. So
she has trials today, right?
No, it's not trials. It's actually junior champs.
Junior champs, sorry.
Junior champs, yes.
Today.
And what event are you participating?
What's her pet event?
What's the event?
I don't think we've really worked it out, but for now she's doing the 800 meters and the 1500 meters.
Yes,
wow.
Yes, we need
yes,
long
yes,
distance and
yeah.
middle distance
Thank
runners.
you, Jesus.
Yes,
Amen.
Thank you.
I tired see our international on
only
stage
sprinters,
and
boy.
only sprinters. We need some long distance runners.
Yes,
so,
we
my
do.
darling, you better batten down the hatches and continue to push. You hear? Because you'll be representing Trinidad and Tobago soon. Keep that name on your mental Rolodex, folks. Tsehai Ollivierre. All right? Thank you all very, very much. God bless you all. We want to have and yes, and all the best in the competition. Tom, you ready for us there? And of course we will. Yeah, give me some. Yeah. Thank you all so much. Stick around. We're going to have a chat with you all the time, right? Folks, let's go to a break. And when we return, you just heard from Gabriella, Bartholomew, and Tsehai Ollivierre. Coming up, Krisann, Bedasie, St. Joseph's Convent. Another contestant from St. Joseph's Convent, San Fernando. and Celicia Neblet from Waterloo Secondary School. Stay right there. We'll be back.
Give me my phone.
What you doing taking them kind of pictures? I'll tell mommy.
And I'll tell her you invaded my privacy.
Privacy? When you send those pics, you lose all privacy. It's like setting up a billboard with your naked pics for the world to see.
Those pictures are for my boyfriend's eyes only, and he'll never do that to me.
Yes, he can, or one of his friends or family. Or someone can steal his phone. Sending naked pics can open you up to embarrassment for you, your family, and friends. You can be harassed by bullies. Your pics can be uploaded to websites and seen by everybody, even the wrong people, sex offenders. It can also affect you getting a good job in the future. Once those pictures go out, you can never get them back.
Okay, I'll tell my boyfriend delete them, and I'll delete these. I'm glad I have a smart little sister.
I'm still telling mommy.
Slavery, a terrible time in our history. The kidnapping, buying and selling of people for profit, the exploitation of another human being. It still exists today. It has a new name, human trafficking. Anyone can be a victim. There is forced labor, sexual exploitation, and domestic servitude. Human trafficking is a worldwide problem and an emerging concern for us here in Trinidad and Tobago. If you know of or suspect human trafficking activity, call the counter-trafficking hotline at 800-4CTU or 800-4288. Human trafficking is a crime. Identify it, report it, stop it. A message from the counter-trafficking unit of the Ministry of National Security.
Ion Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on 95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Ion Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Ion Dependency and a very special Sunday morning show for you. We are introducing to you these finalists of the CTU's spoken word competition, which is in the lead up to the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons on the 30th of July. And in studio now we have...
In studio with us we have Krisann Bedasie and Imani Miller. Krisann she's representing as well St. Joseph's Convent, San Fernando, and Imani Miller is homeschooled. And this is very rare because you don't normally come across homeschooled persons in our midst, and we've interviewed a lot of youngsters, a lot of secondary school youngsters. So this is a pleasure for us. Imani, welcome to Dependency. Mommy, welcome as well.
Thank you so much.
So Imani, where did you hear about this?
I was just online one day and my mom sent me this Instagram post and I saw it was a competition. I didn't really click on it, I didn't pay attention. And then, like 5 days later, I clicked on it and I was like, oh, it's spoken word. And I've been doing spoken word for, quite a while. And I saw the prizes and I was like, oh, okay, iPhone 15, iPad, but I was really intrigued by the content of the competition, and that's how I heard about it. So I decided, hey, why not? I'm not really doing anything other than studying, so yeah. So
this is a to quote one of the young ladies, is it a step outside of your comfort zone?
No, not at all. This is the first spoken word competition I've taken part in, but I've been performing since I was 2 years old.
2 years old?
Yes, I've been in dance.
What?
Yes, I do dance. I play music. I do music. I play piano. I've been a part of, a lot of performances, Queen's Hall. Yeah.
You even performed at 2 years old?
Yeah.
You can walk then?
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
See, Mom, just now we talked to you just now. Wait, hold on. But the topic now, human trafficking. You did your research on it, and how did you feel? Because is it something that you were familiar with, or now the spoken word really opened up this door for you?
I would say it opened up a door for me because, you hear about it, your parents say, be careful when you're walking down the street, like, you could get snatched. But that's just kidnapping. I don't feel like human trafficking is a topic that, it's a dinner conversation or we talk about it with friends. Like, that's not something I know to have a conversation about. And when I saw the competition and I had to do my research, obviously, I was so... to quote one of the other contestants that came on, I was disgusted. It was really sad, and I feel like it's not talked about enough at all. And it's one of the most, one of the crimes in Trinidad that happens the most, and it's not discussed. And yeah.
And what is the one thing that you learned that you think people are not aware of when it comes to human trafficking?
It can happen to anyone. I feel like a lot of us really think it's just children and women, and that is the majority of the group, but it can happen to men, and I feel like we often shy away, especially in Trinidad, from talking about males being victims, and we don't like to talk about it, and if we do, they're soft and they didn't do enough, and they can't cry, and it can happen to anyone.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. This is so powerful to hear coming from you. Are you looking? How has preparation been for the competition?
It's been really well. I mean, I'm a part of a spoken word group called Girl Be Heard.
Girl Be Heard.
Yeah, Girl Be Heard. I'm actually wearing a shirt to represent them.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
Girl Be Heard.
Yes.
Tell us about this group.
It's a group that nurtures performing arts, not just spoken word. They've done singing, dancing, filmmaking. But currently, we do have a show coming up on the 13th of July. I've come to represent them.
Tell us about the show.
Okay. So, the theme is This Needs to Change. It's happening on the 13th of July at Nalis, the library. It's open to anyone. It's free. It's really about awareness, letting our girls in the group express themselves through their art. This is my second show with them, and they're all just amazing. Our teachers, Veronique and Ariel and Akai Webster, they're all just really amazing, and they let us really grow, and they've supported me throughout applying for this competition the whole way through. They've coached me, and preparation has been really nice, yeah.
So they're listening to you right now and they're cheering you on.
I think so, yeah.
So the 13th of July, what time?
6 p.m.
At Nalis?
Yes.
The library?
Yes.
Well done.
You
All
could
right.
also, if you want to get more information, you could go on our Instagram, girlbeheard_TT. You could.
Girlbeheard_TT.
Yes.
Right. Well, I'm sure you have a supporter in Natasha right here. Because, so well done, and thank you. We speak with Mom in a minute. So, Miss Krisann Bedasie.
Yes, that's me.
She had real kind of attitude, I'm noticing that even when we were talking online, she have this picture up, like, hello, look, I'm here.
This is me, yes.
Yes. So,
hello.
yes, Madam Krisann. So tell us, what made you decide to join this competition, to take part in this competition?
Well,
where did you hear about it
mommy
first?
heard about it on the radio 3 days before the deadline.
3 days?
3 days before the deadline in a taxi.
Which radio station?
I have no idea.
Mommy will tell us just now. Go ahead.
She heard about it and she was like, oh my God, this is something that Krisann would be really good at, because at our school we had projects And in projects, you get to learn any skill that you want. And I learned spoken word. So she was like, this is a good activity for Krisann to get to develop her talent. And I entered. So that's how I heard about it.
Wow. And during the time, no, this is your first time entering spoken word competition?
Yes, I've entered poetry competitions, but this is my first time doing spoken word.
Oh, your mommy could throw you in the deep end, so?
Because poetry and spoken word are very related, they're correlated, and
Right.
you can transfer some of the skills that you learn in poetry into spoken word. So it was just me exploring, and in the process, I made the top 10, which did not see that coming.
You didn't see it coming?
I did not see that coming.
3 days before the deadline.
Wow.
Yeah, that's...
I feel mommy heard it on I-95, but apart from that, what was how did you approach the topic? I mean, you have some experience in spoken word, but how would you approach a topic as serious as this?
Well, it's not a topic that you can take lightly. For this piece, I wanted to have a different perspective on it because when you hear narrations of spoken word, well, not spoken word, of human trafficking, you more see like in movies, you'll see police officers investigating or you'll hear press releases about the matter, but I wanted to become the victim, and that is what my piece is about, from the victim's perspective.
Oh,
yes.
I see. Okay, you put yourself in that zone.
Yes.
Ah,
And what is the one thing that you learned that, I mean, not to give away a piece, but what is the one thing about being a survivor of human trafficking that you learned?
Well, one thing that I did learn while researching is that there's this ranking where they have tier 2, tier 1, and tier 3, and they rank human trafficking as to how countries comply with the guidelines in handling human trafficking. And I was flabbergasted. I was confuffled when I discovered that we were downgraded from tier 1 to tier 2. Like, that's crazy. As a country, a Caribbean country with some of the most advanced resources, we have been downgraded to tier 2. And I was really shocked to see that. So that was something that I learned and I incorporated into my piece as well.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So, so you're looking forward to it and you're ready?
I am looking forward to it and I'm getting ready.
You're
It's
getting
a
ready.
continuous action.
Because it's just Tuesday, so
I know.
mean, yes. So, and what about the support from the school now? They're gonna.
My school, well, there are 2 of us from St. Joseph's Convent, San Fernando. My dear alma mater, my sister, Anya Maharaj, has also placed. So we will be bringing our crew to support as well.
And you're bringing your A game.
Yes, we don't bring anything less.
Her daddy is on our Facebook page.
Hi,
Krishna
Daddy.
Bedasie. That name sounds familiar.
Krishna?
Yes.
You know, I was going to ask you that, but Krishna Bedasie is probably...
Really?
Seriously?
Yeah. Interesting. It's
What?
a small word.
It's a very small word.
Krishna, boy? Morning, brother. Well, you know, thank you, Jesus. I just wanted to really ask the question, and it always slipped me. And this morning, as you walked in again, I said, I'm going to ask the question. He joined us online.
Yes.
So, yes, you have real good support. And where your father work, I'm not surprised that you straight up like this.
I'm surprised.
So, Mommy, tell us, I mean, and you know, Krisann walk it back up, you know. Yeah. It's all right, you can sit. We just raise the mic. You can sit down, Krisann. Yeah. So let's speak with Mommy first. Mommy.
Hi.
So when you found out about this, of course, on your favorite radio station, I-95.
Yes.
Come forward. And you decided, hey, no, she needs to enter this.
Yes.
Tell us how.
Yes, I was traveling home. I just dropped Krisann to school. And the taxi had I-95.5 on, and I heard about it, and I was like, this is something that I think Krisann should do. So when I told her about it, she was excited, but she was preparing for tests, so she was like, when I'm finished, I'll see about it. And then I told her, I said, well, you don't have much time because the deadline is 3 days from now. So put your best foot forward and let's see what you could do. And she came back with her piece, and when she came back with her piece, I told her, I said, Krisann, are you ready to read this on stage? And she was like, I don't think I'll get picked, Mom. And I told her, I said, you're going to get placed. Because I saw it and I felt that there was her message was potent and it is needed. So when I saw it, I told her she would get placed, and here we are. So God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah, and you know, that taxi driver is a smart guy. He had his radio in the right
Yes,
time, the right
yes,
place.
yes.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yes, and she has further backup. Let's come back up.
This is my very good friend. She's part of the village that I have my daughter in. It takes a village to raise a child. She's a positive influence in my daughter's life, and I told her I needed her to come with me because Krisann adores her.
Let's have a word with her. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
And you are?
I am Michelle Mitchell. I am Krisann's auntie.
And you're proud of Krisann, I'm sure.
Very, very. I have been there before Krisann was even here.
Mhm.
So all through her life, I have been a part of her village, as her mom has said, because we believe in that. We believe that it takes a village, and the influences that we have around our children, the people that we have them connected to, help them to grow into actualization and the fulfillment of their purpose.
So you live in a village where when you're walking out the street, you have to say good morning, miss, and good morning, mister. And
Yes,
that's
I
the village
do.
you're talking
yes,
about?
I do. But apart from geographics, the people that you have close to you, those who pour into you, the people that you spend the most time expressing yourself to and having them express themselves back to you, those are the ones that shape you, your global perspective, everything. Now, I am a communication specialist, and Krisann, I've always seen that she's been versed with words. I've always told her, you never keep yourself narrowly focused. Try to know as much as you can about as many topics as possible. So I've always asked her to be world ready, to be a global citizen, and that takes reading. It takes critical reading. So
Yes.
we spend a lot of time having a particular types of conversations because I want her to develop herself and that awareness. We are raising a global citizen.
Thank you.
Aye, aye, aye.
Well said.
Some
Well
applause
said.
for that.
Well said. Krishna, we had a talk, boy. Mommy, let's hear from Imani's mommy now. Imani, you know, you decided to homeschool your daughter.
Yes.
Right? Is she the
I
only
did.
child?
No, she isn't. I have two daughters, so she's the younger of the two.
Homeschool as well?
Well, actually, we sort of have had a hybrid approach. I always, from the time I became a mother, or before being a mother, I wanted to homeschool my children. And that was the path I initially went on. I wasn't able to maintain that. So they did going to school in primary level. But the primary school that they ended up at was one that takes a homeschool approach in terms of the instruction, the class size, etc. And it also had a secondary school, so they both progressed to the secondary school. Imani has sort of faced many challenges within the recent 5 years, I would say, particularly health challenges. And as a result of that, she actually was out of school for a considerable period of time. And we had to sort of revert to the homeschool model because that's what fit best for her with all the different dynamics of her situation and what has to be managed. So, yeah.
Well, I can imagine that homeschooling in Trinidad and Tobago, which is not a very popular choice, so it would have been difficult for you as a parent to make that choice. But how do you? This is just for my benefit. How do you engage your children in social activities and outside of the school environment, because the school kind of provides that ready-made?
Yeah, it does. But I mean, as I said, for us, it was sort of a hybrid sort of approach because they both have been in schools for a period of time. But I mean, I was fortunately, as a child, I grew up very involved in extracurricular activities. So that was also in terms of taking a holistic approach in terms of raising my children. That was always something that was very important in terms of, you know, the approach that I took. So they have from a very early age too. I'm a dancer. I actually started dancing at the age of 4. And I would have started performing at the age of 4. And so it was natural for me to sort of groom them in that way. And so they both started performance and dancing at the age of 2 with Lilliput Children's Theatre. So they've also been exposed to drama and the stage from an early age. They also went holistic primary school, which is also a music school. So they were also exposed to music. And they continued that at Daniel's Institute of Learning, which is a school that they progressed to continued primary and secondary. And now, I'm very happy that Imani, she has done hockey. She's in Girl Be Heard, which she had to audition for that. So it's something, it's not like you just go and put them in a class. You know, she was selected to be a member of the group, and this is her second cohort. She's now in the second year of being a part of the group. And so I just always try to encourage them to be well-rounded. And the social aspect, I think, people seem to feel that homeschooling children wouldn't get the opportunity to have social engagement. But I think if you, you give the children avenues to interact and to form. Imani has many friendships, many very close friendships from all the different activities that she's involved in, So
we're very proud of Imani for taking this new step. And hopefully,
give me some.
Can I get some applause?
Yes.
So we wish you both the best of luck on the 2nd of July. It's going to be a fantastic event for you.
No. Give me a little more song. A little more.
That's really
well. And I now see both of you getting out. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are having a nice session here this morning with the 9 finalists of the CTU Spoken Word competition. These are the finalists. You're hearing from them this morning and their parents. So we're going to take a break, and when we return, you'll hear from 2 more. Stay right there. We'll be back.
Boy. Feel like I'm gonna buy myself a senorita tonight.
Nah. You know you might be promoting slavery.
Slavery? What are you talking about?
Hey, modern day slavery or human trafficking is just what some of these people just do. You know some of these women were tricked to come here? Some are held against their will, abused, and even beaten. Most times the girls don't even see any of the money that is paid for them. And every night, they just have to come out looking nice and sexy for somebody like you. Human trafficking is a serious problem and a serious crime. Persons who solicit commercial sex services may be contributing to human trafficking. A message from the Counter-Trafficking Unit of the Ministry of National
Slavery, a terrible time in our history. The kidnapping, buying and selling of people for profit, the exploitation of another human being. It still exists today. It has a new name: human trafficking. Anyone can be a victim. There is forced labor, sexual exploitation, and domestic servitude. Human trafficking is a worldwide problem and an emerging concern for us here in Trinidad and Tobago. If you know of or suspect human trafficking activity, call the Counter-Trafficking Hotline at 800-4CTU or 800-4288. Human trafficking is a crime. Identify it, report it, stop it. A message from the Counter-Trafficking Unit of the Ministry of National Security.
Ion Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on 95.5 FM.
and streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Eye on Dependency, and it's a very special Sunday for us as we are welcoming and introducing you to the finalists of the CTU Spoken Word competition, which is in the lead up to World Day Against Trafficking in Persons on the 30th of July.
Yes, and if you're just joining up, you're new to our social media platform, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, especially the YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. Click on that bell so that when we go live, you will always be notified, and stay in touch with what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago via this educational platform. And we have in studio with us now Eliana James. Yes. Eliana James representing Waterloo Secondary School. Welcome to Dependency. Come closer to the microphone and tell us, how did you hear about this competition?
Yes, thank you for having me. I heard about the competition through my form teacher, through our class group chat. Normally, like, she would be on Facebook sending us competitions to go to, and normally my classmates, they doesn't really get into like competitions and stuff. But
what's the teacher's name?
Miss Gory.
Right. Morning, Miss Gory.
Yes. When I heard of it and I saw it, I was actually a bit shocked because I was like, oh my God, a spoken word competition? Because I was always into like spoken word during like the past few years. So like I was actually very excited for it. But then I started doubting myself and thinking, should I go on this? And like I was really thinking about it after a few days. And then when I went back, I replied to Miss privately because I didn't know everybody in the class knew. Yeah, so I replied to her privately. I was like, excuse Miss, I'm interested. And then like she helped me out and gave me the information and stuff. And then I just randomly started on it, started researching and writing.
Okay.
Found it a little difficult though.
Yes, I'm going to ask you that. Tell about the topic now. How did you, when you start going through, did you decide, nah boy, I don't want nothing to do with this now? Did it do that to you?
No, the thing is, I felt like human trafficking was a very like broad topic because there's so much. It could happen to anybody. Like what everybody else was saying, it really could happen to anyone. And for my spoken word, I didn't want to write about like every single person, so I wanted to like narrow it down to a specific group. So I felt that would be easier for me. So I researched on a specific group of people who get human trafficked and started writing.
Okay.
Have you ever performed spoken word before, or is this the first time you're doing it in such a big way?
Yeah, it is my first time doing it in such a big amount of people, but I did perform in front of like family members. My favorite spoken word was the one I wrote about my mommy. Yeah, I performed it in front of my mommy and my aunts and uncles, and I even went to school and performed in front of my close friends too.
Right.
And I was so proud of myself because everybody enjoyed it and everybody could relate to it.
Okay.
It's like I was really proud of that.
And it of course it opened up now a new world to you.
Yes.
And created greater awareness about this topic.
Yes. Yes, it did.
I'm really happy. I cannot. Since last week, I was expressing this excitement about this competition because I love the stage to myself. So I know what it is in preparation and preparing for a competition. I mean, I'm preparing for next year Calypso competition already. You know what I mean? So I know how it feels. And once you're into it, you put your all into it. Now, what can we expect from you on that day?
I would say you can expect confidence because I am building on my confidence.
Right.
I'm not really one to be in front of a crowd and speaking loudly, so I've been working on my confidence. So I would say that you can expect me to be confident and put my best foot forward I'm trying my best.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are speaking with we have 7 this morning with us, the finalists for the spoken word competition put on by the Counter Trafficking Unit, Ministry of National Security. And we are really excited to have them here this morning. We're going to have all of them back in studio in a minute. We're going to give each of them a chance at the microphone so that they can you get that nice family welcome and Dependency family welcome from you and encouragement from you. So please continue. They're young people, and we always talk about the negatives. We always share and let it go viral when young people do nonsense on social media. Well, let this go viral this morning. We have young people doing positive things. They're preparing for a spoken word competition to be put on at SAPA on Tuesday coming, and they're representing their school brilliantly. Yeah, you heard them for yourself. Now we're going to speak with, just have a chat with Eliana. Mom, Mom, come closer. You're sitting there very pensive and paying attention.
Yes.
How did you feel when you heard about this and encouraging her?
Well, when she told me she was entering a competition, I am always encouraging her because Eliana, she started to write a short story. She stopped with that. She wrote a nice small story. She sent for everybody. Everybody loved it. They encouraged her. They told her, put it up on YouTube, whatever.
Right.
She did the poem on myself. And then she did a poem on being black and all of these kind of things. So she, she gets the encouragement from myself, and which I just tell her Miss Gory is my favorite teacher. So shout out to Miss Gory. And she gets the encouragement from her, and that's her language teacher.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
right.
So, with that, when she told me she's doing the competition, I was like, yeah? She said, yeah, she's going, and I was like, well, go ahead. I know you can do it. And she sent it in and stuff, and then she's like, when she found out she was in the top 10, yeah, what I tell you, she ran outside, and she's like, Mommy! And she's like, I got you, I'm in the top. And I was like, I am so proud of you, and I know you could have done it,
Yes.
So now as she's stepping out here, I pray that, she moves from strength to strength, and I tell her, say, it's not about winning, but it's about putting it out there, because whatever you do, it's going to be seen, and it's a powerful message, and it's going to be put out there. So it's not, the competition is nice, and being there and saying you're being competitive is nice, but the fact that you are doing something, with such a heavy message behind it,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's not winning. It's not winning alone, and this is going to be out here, and this is a serious mark that she's making. So I tell her, take everything after the Almighty and just thank Him for it and keep on.
No, I admire the camaraderie among you all.
Yes.
And I hope that continues, into Tuesday, so
Yes,
that
most
win, lose, or draw, you all still will be, commend each other, because, like I said, you all representing a cross-section of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, for those of us who don't know, because I'm trying to figure Waterloo, where you get a taxi to go Waterloo? They don't laugh at me like that.
St. Mary's Junction.
Because
you're making out yourself there,
Waterloo kind of sound like me. How you going back, right?
Yes.
But just try to lightly moment. But for you too, I'm sure it created an awareness too as well about human trafficking.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, because we have 9 people. If 9 tells somebody, and then that 9 tells somebody else, and you have the parents, it's unfortunate that you all have to be living, we have to grow children up in a time like this.
Yes.
That we have to actually be speaking about it and be children. We have leading the way with this. It's really sad, and I hope that those of you who are listening out there who understand or don't understand the danger and the damage that you're doing to our youngsters, you have the opportunity to understand it now. And we'll bring all of them back in studio, because we want to have an open mic now for them to talk to Trinidad and Tobago, talk about how they feel about drugs, talk about how they feel about crime, things that they would like to see for youngsters in Trinidad and Tobago. So we're going to have a nice little time with them here this morning. So, young lady, the future, what the future looks like for you? What are your plans? What would you like to see? Is there anything that's going around in your head? You have about 3 vocations that you like. What? Tell us.
Yes, I for the past few years now, I've wanting to be a lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me?
Yeah.
You like asking questions?
As my mother and family members would say, I like to argue.
Okay.
I am very argumentative. I love to argue with people, and I like proving myself right.
Yes.
So,
Most importantly, yes.
Yes. Like, when I would say this to other people, they would always make jokes and be like, "Oh, so you want to be a liar?" No. To me, I find like being a lawyer just repeats what their client tells them. So to me, it's really the client lying. I just repeating what you're saying.
And making an argument towards the court that will, benefit your client. That's
so you see yourself as a prosecutor or a defender? You like to defend people, or you want to put people away?
I like defending people.
Okay.
I feel everybody always has their side of a story. Everybody deserves to be heard, and I believe, even though so much does be happening and people do bad things, that's just how we are. We are born in sin. So I believe everybody would always do something bad, but I still believe that everyone always deserves a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well said. So we want everybody to, and those listening outside, and you just prepare your thoughts, and you have an open mic to talk to the youngsters about Trinidad and Tobago, about drugs, about the adults, about what you see and what would you like to see change. And this is your opportunity. And then we have some things to show you all, because we always embrace this opportunity to educate young people. And you all have presented yourself here this morning well. You're represented well, and we want to thank you all so much. Stormen, give me some wet. This is for you and Mommy. And Mommy, we want to thank you too for the support that you're giving to your daughter here this morning. All right? So, folks, we're going to take a break, and when we return, we're going to have everybody back in studio, and we're going to have a nice little chit-chat here this morning with the youngsters. As you said, for you, baby, a child shall lead them out of the mouth of babes and suckling. You're hearing them this morning. We'll be back. Stay right there.
Boy. Feel I'm gonna buy myself a senorita tonight.
Nah. You might be promoting slavery.
Slavery? Mm-hmm. What are you talking about?
Hey, modern day slavery or human trafficking is just what some of these people just do. Some of these women were tricked to come here. Some are held against their will, abused, and even beaten. Most times the girls don't even see any of the money that is paid for them. And every night, they just have to come out looking nice and sexy for somebody like you. Human trafficking is a serious problem and a serious crime. Persons who solicit commercial sex services may be contributing to human trafficking. A message from the Counter-Trafficking Unit of the Ministry of National
Slavery, a terrible time in our history. The kidnapping, buying and selling of people for profit, the exploitation of another human being. It still exists today. It has a new name: human trafficking. Anyone can be a victim. There is forced labor, sexual exploitation, and domestic servitude. Human trafficking is a worldwide problem and an emerging concern for us here in Trinidad and Tobago. If you know of or suspect human trafficking activity, call the Counter-Trafficking Hotline at 800-4CTU or 800-4288. Human trafficking is a crime. Identify it, report it, Stop it. A message from the Counter-Trafficking Unit of the Ministry of National Security.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays, at 10 a.m., and exclusively, on 95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
All right, thank you for staying with us, folks. You're listening to Eye on Dependency, and we are having a nice little conversation. So all 7 of them are in studio here now. These are 7 of the 9 finalists who will be gracing the stage at SAPA on Tuesday, Tuesday, 2nd July, and they're competing among secondaries. But this morning, they're not competing. This morning, the camaraderie is nice, and I like how they're operating with each other here, and we're really happy with that. And so we're going to put them on the spot now, right? Madam Bedasie, I want to start with you.
Yes,
So, and I know that where your father works, you would hear stuff. He would come home sometimes frustrated. He would, because there are a lot of youngsters, because I know he started at the young institution too.
Yes, YTC.
Right. So tell us is anything troubling you at all about your generation and what you're seeing and what you'd like to see change?
Well, firstly, my dad and I aren't, I don't really talk to him much about his work.
Right.
But what I can tell you is that I have been engaged with some students who are very invested in vaping. Vaping has become a common trend in secondary schools,
Boom,
and it's something that every school is trying to combat right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that does trouble me with secondary schools and my generation.
Vaping.
Vaping is a trend now.
Right.
It is.
Now, how are they? Is a trend, Jesus?
It's a trend.
Just
It's
like
seen as the cool thing to
It's
do.
the cool thing to do. That's what they say. I wouldn't know. You know, I like chocolate. Vaping is not my thing. So, yeah.
So, but where do they get it? Did they tell you?
I wouldn't know where they get it from.
Uh-huh.
What I do know is that secondary schools, well, my school is not, we do not allow that. We detest that kind of behavior. So they often implement little guidance counseling sessions. Recently we had a guest speaker from one of the cancer associations, I believe, I'm not certain, but she came to our school and she addressed us and reminded us of the dangers involved in vaping. And in biology, we would have to do like a project on drugs and diseases. So I think every school is trying to combat it right now, but it's a trend.
Apart from so I want to ask about what do you know about the risks of vaping, especially to young people? What do you know about that?
Well, we know that there's the obvious, that the more you vape, the more, well, vaping has this kind of substance and it burns your throat.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process of inhaling, you're kind of deteriorating your lungs, which ultimately affects the breathing process. And it in return allows you to have this kind of cough, and it just weakens your body systems in general, because if your lungs aren't working, you can't breathe, and in order to breathe, you need energy and that kind of carbon dioxide is not good. So I just know that it's not a good thing, and I don't need to try it to know that it's a bad thing.
I hear you. Anya, how you feel about that?
I agree 100% because I know that one of the leading causes of vaping is peer pressure.
Yes.
So you have to know who your friends are. You have to be able to say no to these kinds of things, because they will tell you, oh God, just try it now. Just try it, see if you like it now. But that, just trying it once can lead to serious addiction and eventually death, because people don't understand how much of a risk it causes. There are a list of factors, not just cancer. It can cause as she was saying, the cancer, a part of the Cancer Association came into our school to talk about all the effects, and oh my gosh, there was so much, and I can't even keep count.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a social issue.
It is.
And our school is trying their very best to handle it, so they've tried to incorporate it into social studies, into biology, because they want to ensure that our generation does not add to the vaping statistics of the population.
So substance abuse and its related is very much part of your school's curriculum.
Yes.
Wonderful. We're going to thank you. Yeah, that's wonderful. And this is St. Joseph's Convent.
San Fernando.
There are a few.
We have a few, but it's St. Joseph's Convent, San Fernando.
God, you want to show that video that we have on vaping since they brought it up?
All right, let's start with that.
Video B, short man.
Video B, short man. And this is just to add what Anya and Krisann just said. And we prepared this for you all. You all could look at that small screen. Normally we would have it up there, but you all could look at that small screen there. And just to put the icing on the cake, what you just heard from these young ladies, we're gonna play it here for everybody. They're all in studio with us, and we welcome this opportunity so that each one of you can go back and tell your friends what you saw. And understanding too as well that you use all these substances, including alcohol, because some people don't believe alcohol is a drug. It damages your brain. Your brain is not fully developed until the age of 25. So please remind your friends this. You may not be able to save all of them, but some will listen. Let's go short, man. Those of you listening and viewing, you're listening to Dependency, and we have the 7 finalists of the 9 that will be taking part in the competition at SAPA on Tuesday. Let's go.
The CDC's latest National Youth Tobacco Survey found that 2.8 million middle and high school students reported using tobacco products, and the majority of those are e-cigarettes. And the number of young people vaping is increasing, especially among middle schoolers. Joining us now to talk more about this is pediatrician and author of You Are Not a Bad Parent, Dr. Elizabeth Henry. Welcome.
Well, it's great to be here.
All right, let's talk about what vaping is and why it's become so popular with teenagers.
Well, vaping, when you vape, you're inhaling an aerosol or vapor through an e-cigarette or vape pen. And it's become popular mostly because it's very appealing to young people. There's aggressive marketing, which is colorful. It comes in all types of flavors, fruit flavors, dessert flavors. And young people think that it's not as harmful as cigarettes, which is not necessarily true. And some don't even think that the vape pens contain nicotine in them.
Wow, I think that's a big deal, just, you know, because you do think because you don't smell the smoke that, oh, it can't be as bad as smoking. But so how do the cigarettes and vape pens work, and what substance can they deliver? And they are just as bad as cigarettes.
Well, the vape pen contains an e-liquid, or a liquid that is heated up and vaporizes and is inhaled into the lungs. And the liquid contains chemicals like organic compounds, heavy metals, which can lead to cancer. It can cause cancer. It contains nicotine and flavoring. And some vape pens can have THC, which is the psychoactive ingredient of marijuana. So that leads to the potential for abuse. So it's very concerning and has led to widespread use in schools.
I think also because the smoke is not coming out, it's easier to hide from the parent, you know, if you're going to do that in your room.
There are all kinds of contraptions. They look like flash drives, and there are even hoodies where you can stick the vape in the drawstring. So you don't know what you don't know, and it's important for parents to know.
So let's talk about the harmful effects, especially on teenagers.
There are many harmful effects because, as I've mentioned in other segments, the teenage brain develops up until age 25. The nicotine can cause adverse and negative effects in parts of the brain that control attention and learning and mood and impulsivity. And then on top of that, it can cause adverse effects in the lungs, really lung damage. It can be life-threatening lung damage, as well as burns, which we see when the batteries are defective and can explode and catch on fire.
And we've talked about how it's easier these days to hide from parents. So what should parents look for?
There are several things, and one is weird gadgets, techie gadgets that you're not familiar with, or charging cables, pods or cartridges that are discarded. They can look for, or if they smell a fruity smell or a dessert smell or sweet smell that there's no source in the house for, that's a red flag. If they're unfamiliar packages coming to the house or purchases online that they didn't purchase, those could be products that their kids are ordering. And most importantly, language. Like, so in text language, if you see the words like Addy and VG and sauce and nick, those are all vaping terms. So if you happen to see those in text, those are red flags.
Wow, I haven't even heard of any of those. So I have some education to work on. Thank you so much, Dr. Liz. I really appreciate your help.
Well, thanks for having me.
And thank you very much, Dr. Liz. So you all heard? Yes. Anything to add to that before we bring in to others?
Just know who your friends are. Know that even though it may be hard to say no, that is the right thing to do. And encourage them to stop, because these are the people that you know and love, and you don't want anything happening to them in the future. So as hard as it may be, try to get them to stop as soon as possible.
Well, for me, people vape most often because they are going through something. And the truth is, you don't need to vape to feel better about yourself. There are people, there are specialists who are invested in ensuring that children, adults, everyone gets the mental health care that they deserve. As such, I think that people should remember that vaping is not the only solution. There are other resources available, so know that you're not alone. There are people who have stopped vaping, so if that's you, then know that there are other solutions.
Thank you very much.
Well said. All right, so Imani and Tsehai, you all take microphone. Let's hear what you all think about if you all experienced this in school. Anton has just joined us. Thank you for coming, Anton. So tell us what. Let's start with you, Imani. Tell us what what you just said, the vaping and.
Every teenager knows about it. Every teenager at least knows, I think, one person or knows of one person who vapes.
Mm-hmm.
It's really marketed to be like, oh, it'll help you focus. You know, I've talked to people who do it, and it's like, oh yeah, it's this superpower, but you just have to keep on doing it to keep up the little high that you get.
Yeah.
Or buzz, because you don't want to use high, because then it's like, oh, maybe it is just as bad as smoking. But
it is.
It is, of course, but they don't think that. They don't know the issues, and I feel like it's sad in a way. Peer pressure, as Anya, I think that's your name, yeah? Yeah. Anya said, is really the leading cause of that. You know, I've been in situations where it's like, it's not going to hurt you, like, just do it. And I've been posed, as someone who's been posed with the questions of, do I do it or do I not do it? I have asthma, so I'm not doing it, right? Yeah. I have asthma,
but you've been approached to use drugs and try vaping and all of that.
Yeah.
And you were just strong enough to say, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah, and, you know, I feel like some people judge other people because they do give in to that peer pressure. Mm-hmm. But to make it a space where you can't say no, you can't judge like that. You have to make it a safe space where it's like, okay, I understand, but this is not good. And, I feel like people don't realize how bad peer pressure is and that how hard it is to say no. You know, I've grown up in a situation where it's always instilled in me. We've had these conversations about drugs and these kind of things, and it's easier for me to say no, but some people don't have that kind of community or environment, and it's really sad.
What about you, Tsehai? You're growing up in Tobago, and we've seen Tobago go through changes. Tell us, what have you been seeing and how you view this whole drug situation among young people?
Well, if I'm speaking honestly, I don't really know much about vaping. I've never really been exposed to it. But I would say that I believe that is something a lot of teenagers in this age group usually, as everyone said so far, give in to peer pressure a lot. They're always thinking about popularity. They're always trying to associate themselves with people who they think are of a higher status than them. And to me, it doesn't really make sense because the people that they are looking up to in this age group, as I said, are people who are praised, I would say, because they wear brands or they gave a little trouble in school, and you know, they have the just basically image. That is their main traits or characteristic. And I never really saw the hype in it, so I never really put much thought into it because I never.
So you're not interested? You drugs don't bother you, but you just don't business.
Yeah, pretty much. I know it sounds like a bad thing.
No, it's not. But that's a good thing.
It's a good thing that I'm not interested, but people say that's a bad thing, that I just don't care that other people doing it. But to me, it never really bothered me because I have no interest in it.
Wonderful. So we
But
could
I
go
like what Imani said. I wanted to get into that a little bit more about what she said about community. Is drug abuse and issues that you're having is something that you're comfortable speaking with your parents about and other people in your lives, other older adults in your lives. You feel comfortable speaking to them about these things?
Yeah, it is. I was raised in a single parent household, and my mother has always been very open with me about her experiences and what she's gone through, and you know, like, judgment is a big topic because, you know, like, all the things, you know, my mom talks to me about and all the experiences she's gone through and where she is now, you can't really judge these kind of things that happened way long before. And I trust her, you know, like, I know I could talk to my mother about issues I have with school. I know I'm homeschooled, but, you know, school or friends, or, you know, I could talk to her about it and she'll give me advice, and people, not everybody has that.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Anya Dependency, and we are having a nice conversation with these youngsters here today. In a while, we're going to open the lines for you to call and give them that encouragement, especially for the competition that's coming up on Tuesday. And I want to throw this question to all of you out here, just to prepare yourself, what you're going to say to adults who encourage children in using drugs and leading youngsters astray, because we know there are adults out there who giving youngsters drugs to sell, drugs to use. Please, you just... Miss Bedasie, Maharaj, everybody, put that in your head. I want you talking to them this morning.
On the spot, boy.
Yes, put them on the spot.
No pressure.
No, because we don't often hear from young people about how you feel and your opinions about a lot of things. So now is your opportunity to have your voice be heard.
We won't touch politics because we won't leave the studio today. We want to leave the studio.
Yeah, because the adults, the people like us, the old fogies, always think we know what's best for you, but you know, we have to listen to what you all have to say in order to make the world a better place for you to live in.
Hey, always see that old fogey thing, all you watch over that, not me.
Who's the pensioner? Who's the pensioner in here, sir?
So, if you're just joining us on Facebook, only excuse me, let me just talk to this lady a minute. Hello, talk for yourself. Right. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Anya Dependency. You join us on Facebook or YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. And so, short man, quickly, let's go to video A. And let's drive home this one. And we, again, like I said, we're going to open up the lines to take some calls for these youngsters in a minute. So, short man, go to video A quickly. Let's run that through. And, you know, we're taking advantage of this opportunity we have here this morning. Their parents are outside listening, so they're joining in the conversation too as well. Let's go.
It may seem common for young people to experiment with different substances, like vaping, weed, tobacco, Molly, and alcohol. Some may even consider hard drugs such as cocaine, meth, or opioids like heroin. Regardless of the substance, if it's not prescribed by a doctor and taken as prescribed, experimenting with substances can have negative effects. Meet Jeremiah. Jeremiah hangs out with his friends on the weekends. They drink alcohol and occasionally smoke marijuana to relax and get away from the stresses of life and school. One time at a party, Jeremiah smoked something a girl handed to him, not knowing what it was. Later, he found out that it was K2, a synthetic type of weed. His friends told him that he was hilarious and started acting crazy, and that they couldn't wait to party with him again. Jeremiah was concerned because he has no memory of what happened. He wants to be with his friends and have a good time, but he hated not remembering and doesn't want to take another substance like that again. He also feels new pressure to be the life of the party and act a certain way. What happened to Jeremiah is all too common. You start out taking one substance and end up taking something else. A danger in using any substance that isn't prescribed to you is not knowing exactly what it is you're taking and how it will impact you. Unfortunately, young people are being exposed to substances that can have dangerous physical and mental health consequences. As a good rule of thumb, if a drug isn't prescribed to you, you shouldn't take it. Pretty quickly, what feels like casual or experimental substance use can turn into a substance use problem, which has long-lasting and negative consequences. Before you decide to use a substance, know the risks and potential consequences, or reach out to a counselor to talk about it.
Staying with us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are having a nice conversation here with the 7 of the 9 finalists for the Counter Trafficking Unit, Ministry of National Security Spoken Word Competition, the finals that will take place at SAPA on Tuesday, please God. So Anton from representing Mova Laventille Secondary, and Gabriella from Cowen Hamilton Secondary. Right, so Gabriella, come closer. Anton, substance abuse and youngsters. I know you're noticing, I know we're sure you're seeing what's going on. Tell us how you feel about it and what message would you have?
Well, to be honest, I feel like it's kind of sad that these days there's also youngsters on the block selling LM or the little bitter dollar cigarette because either the parents not there for them or somebody trying to influence them. Look at a little boy out there, his parents don't really care about him, so I'm going to try to make a little quick hustle from his little hard work and, you know,
what is
sending them out there. Well, boy.
Because the first time I hear about that, what is LM?
A very cheap dollar cigarette.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
Y'all know what LM is? No.
Tell us, explain LM. So somebody making their own cigarettes?
Nah, I think it's like a company. I don't really know much about that, but I know there's have like children out there, probably by the junction somewhere, selling them thing.
What?
So it's kind of sad.
So wait. Wow. Apart from our tobacco company, there's another company competing with them.
I don't know how many companies it have. I just know it have.
And they're selling that to children?
Nah, sometimes let's give it to children to sell.
To sell?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
This is something that's, wow. So, and of course you don't know what in this cigarette, and that is...
so it could be tobacco.
Could be anything in that
tobacco
cigarette.
Tobacco mixed with anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how you feel about that? I mean, you ever tried, any of your close friends ever got caught up in it and you try to get them out?
No, I don't see people doing it, but I've never tried it, and I've never seen or heard of any of my friends doing it personally.
Right.
But to be honest, it's a waste of time, and to them, instead of like trying to get into a sport or trying to do something that would like put them out there, them just on the block selling cigarette, they can probably get killed, shoot up somewhere out there because it's not really safe. So that's my view on it.
Gabriella, tell us, what do you think?
The main issue with substance abuse on teenagers is influence.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it's the friends that these teenagers keep I believe is the influence of the parents around them, what they're seeing day to day. I believe is what they're seeing in school, what they're hearing, and mainly curiosity. When it comes to, well, my personal experience with vaping, drugs on a whole, is there are certain situations in school where when you watch on the news is these children being hospitalized because of ecstasy, different kind of substances, and in schools, as one of the contestants said, is vaping. It's a trend, and the question is, why is it a trend? Because it helps you, or because your friend doing it, you want to do it too. It could also be peer pressure, because you could be going about your way, you want nothing to do with it, and your friend coming to you like, boy, try a thing now, boy, are you getting one so? And you go in and feel like, wait, boy, I should try a thing. And you go in and start it, and then you wouldn't be able to stop. And when something happens to you, they never know.
Yes.
When you get in trouble, they never are wrong. So
Well
it's
said.
actually the friends you keep.
Well said. Well said, young. Well said. Well said. Well said. You know, it's really a pity that we have to be discussing this with you all, but this is our platform, and we want to take this opportunity to at least each one teach one, each one tell one. So when you leave here, you all can educate your peers as well. You know, and we really appreciate the time that you all taking to do this with us.
Absolutely. Is there any other subject, as we have both of you here, any other topic going on in the country right now that is concerning to you that you want to
I
talk about?
believe mental health is an issue among teenagers. I believe that the nonchalant and the cold-hearted behavior that teenagers like to put on, it has so much things going on underneath it. Like, they're portraying this, how to put it, this bad man behavior, this kind of, you know, as a big man kind of thing. But deep down on the inside, you don't know what's going on. Them refuse to talk, but why exactly do you refuse to talk? It's because you don't have nobody to talk to, you don't trust nobody. It mainly comes from them thing. So mental health is so important, because we also have a lot of teenagers cutting the hand, attempting suicide, and that's what also substance abuse comes from too. They're trying to get rid of the feeling of depression, anxiety, all of these things, because they have nobody to talk to. At the same time, when you go to counselors and therapists or psychiatrists and all these things, you also feel deep down in your brain you can't trust them either. So it's like you have to keep it to yourself, or like your parents home, you want to talk to mommy, you want to talk to daddy, and it's like they gain on what you, they don't want to hear what you're saying. Pure ignorance sometimes. And it's just like, why even come and talk to you in the first place? Sometimes that's what we had to go through as teenagers, because when it comes to talking to parents about certain things, it's like, it's just a child. I know that, but at the same time, you had to hear what they're saying, because it could have so much meaning under it.
Lady?
Thank you very much. Yes.
You are wise beyond your age.
Yes.
Anybody agree with this here?
Yes.
Come, let's step to the microphone, please. Who wanted to add to that quickly?
I just want to say I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like when are taken seriously as teenagers, you know, we're still developing, okay, until 25, but we have opinions, we have minds of our own, we can make decisions for ourselves. Not saying that, like, every decision we make is okay. But listen to us. And I would just like to say, people, the media loves to portray an image of only the ghetto people that we smoking and vaping.
Yes.
But from my experience, it's the people up in Westmoreland.
Aye,
It's the
aye, aye.
people up in the gated communities, and they're
Yes.
getting away with it because their parents don't care. And they love to say, okay, watch that man walking down from Belmont because he come down from school. But your child up in their three-story house is vaping, is doing drugs, going to the next party because you allowing it, but nobody's saying anything
Right.
because you're making 6 figures.
And when you get to you getting the bad rap. I hear you. How you all feel about you want to add to the conversation quickly? Yeah, come.
I would like to. What's your name? Sorry. Gabriella. I would like to add to the point of mental illness and parents being ignorant, because sometimes parents think that this is just an excuse. You don't understand what depression is. You don't understand mental illness. But you are not me. You cannot speak for me. And it is, I see it. I see a lot of my friends go through these things, and their parents are very ignorant of what they are going through. They think that this is just it's just a phase, you will get out of it, but it's not. This could lead to serious problems like self-harm and eventually suicide, because you need to take young people seriously these days, because they know what they're feeling. And they don't need someone to validate their feelings. They just need some help. They need counseling. They need people to recognize and be aware of what they are feeling. And that is what I wanted to see.
Well said.
So,
yes, thank you.
Well said. Come, Tsehai.
To add to what Anya and Gabriella said, I also think that parents, they always like to make the excuse and say that you're just looking for attention. Like, I always hear, well, not really my friend, but people in school, like, for example, people doing self-harm, they'll say that when their parents found out, their parents was like, you're looking for attention, why are you doing that? And it's like, I feel like in the Caribbean especially, mental health is not something that they turn a blind eye to mental health, and I feel like that's something we really need to work on. I also feel like we need to realize that, of course, talking to somebody could help, but talking to somebody could only do so much. I feel like for mental illness and mental illnesses to be overcome, people need to actually understand why they're feeling that way, and actually of course, they need to do this with help, but they need to be able to understand why they're feeling this way and do things that make them feel better, and not just go to counseling and talk every week and then you're not doing anything about it throughout the week until your next meeting. I feel like they also need to
adopt new strategies
in helping
ways
themselves.
to cope. Yes.
Well said.
Well said. Well said.
Well said. Madam Bedasie, I know you have something to say. Yes, because if you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are having a wonderful conversation here, and you're listening to young people this morning, and we really thank them for their bravery, their honesty, and their openness to discuss this with us adults. We're going to start taking your calls at 622-3937. You have 30 seconds to say hello to these youngsters, wish them all the best. Go ahead, Krisann.
Okay, well, my school, we have like different groups and we have clubs. So I'm in the UNESCO club, which is like a United Nations based club. And we recently finished one of our 2 cohorts with Miss Nelly Bisram. She runs Home Education, and that is a group centered around well-being. And so we engaged in well-being, and it was featuring different countries. So it was Trinidad and Tobago, Honduras, and Latin American countries, basically. And when you hear the stories that these children have, it's weird, because sometimes you think that what you're going through is this huge thing, but there are other people out there who are going through things that are far more disastrous, I should say. Not in a sense that we should reduce what other people are feeling, but when we talk about mental health, it does in a way relate to substance abuse and the social issues that come from that. So someone I know personally, she is someone who engages in vaping. And when she told me that she was vaping, I started to cry, because I didn't believe that someone like her could be involved in vaping. And when you ask them, well, why are you vaping? It's because she said, and I quote, "It's better that we float than we actually talk about this." So I was really surprised, because as she would have said, people who vape, talking about it doesn't really necessarily do anything. I'm still feeling like this, but talking about it isn't doing anything. So the question is, what are we going to do now that changes it? Because it is the youth that are facing the problem, and yes, parents are not putting enough attention towards this issue, but it needs to be broadcasted. Methods of helping children who are victims of vaping, they need to be more public about it. Yes, you want to maintain the image of your school, but the fact is there are children who are at risk, and it is your duty as the adults to ensure that they are safe, because we are allegedly the future. And at the end of the day, it's us going to be handing out the pensions to you all. So all I'm saying is make sure that when I'm handing it out, I'm not going in the back room to take a vape or take a pull, and ensure that my generation is safe. Because if my generation is at risk, then the future is also at risk.
Absolutely.
So,
Eliana?
Well, they want spoken word. This is spoken word.
There you go.
Just, we have a call it up.
Wait, before we do that.
Before we do that, yes.
Eliana.
Go ahead, yes. Go by it.
I don't really know what I could say after everybody else.
Yes,
Because they're so wise beyond their years. But back to the vaping and the mental health issue, and with children wanted to talk to the parents, and as I believe Tsehai said, with parents telling their children, you just want attention, you just want attention. We wouldn't have to want attention if you were paying attention to us in the first place. And as my mother would always say, prevention is better than cure. You always need to check up on your children, talk to them, even if they are not first to talk to you. Because sometimes I believe children, we are scared to go to our parents because we don't know how we would react. Sometimes we would want you to talk to us first. So we would feel okay and comfortable with being like, oh, all right, mommy, coming to talk to me. Now I know that she actually cares and is interested in my life and how I feel about certain things.
Right.
Now I could really open up my heart and my mind and speak to her about it. I don't know
No, but you did well. That's thanks.
No,
Thank you. That's
yeah.
wonderful. That's powerful.
Something else too, with the vaping and stuff. Something else my mother once said, show me your friends and I would show you your future. And also, I think I would tell my friends too, is, what is it? The people you keep around you says a lot about yourself. So I believe the thing with, as they said, with peer pressure too, with the vaping, I believe just because your friend's doing it, that isn't to say you wouldn't do it either, or you should do it.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say I have friends who vape. One of my friends, I would try to stop him from doing it, but I wouldn't want to say he's too far gone, but he would be influenced by some other child too, and I would try to speak to him about it, but sometimes he just really wouldn't listen to me. So
he's trapped. You think he's trapped, basically.
And I really don't understand how it is like that, because he is surrounded by me and my other friends who don't take part in these things, especially with other people, and the whole issue with gangs and stuff, and knock it on a 6, knock it on a 7, and all this madness. My friends would really be like, fully Jesus Christ, what are you really talking about? Fully Jesus Christ, knock it on a devil. What are you getting yourself into? We don't want you to go down the wrong path.
Right.
And sometimes I feel like the way I would speak to people, they would say I'm too blunt and I just be mean with what I say, but it's really coming from a place of love.
Well said, my dear. Let's take a call for you all. Well said.
Let's take some phone calls.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Natasha, and good morning, the teacher.
Hey, Manu?
Yes, it is.
What going on with you, boy?
But this station, not a easy station to get in on this program, you know.
Boy, thank you for calling, Manu. Nice to hear from you, man.
But how are you going otherwise besides that?
Yes, man, be good. Nice to hear from you.
Yes. I want to say thanks for this program, and to the youth there, and to the education that they have in these things, and they could advise or help their peers, their friends.
Yes.
You see a friend going wrong, you pull them aside, and they have the way how to pull away the friends, because they're talking no nonsense, they're talking real sense. I hear nobody say nothing that they shouldn't say, and I want to tell them congratulations in this whatever competition you're taking. And according to somebody, if they're lost, you ain't go to law to win. You go to help other people, your peers, senior, and encourage them. And the people who selling cigarettes or selling children to sell whatever the law doing about it, I mean, you know, you're all mashing up the future, all mashing up Trinidad. This is the future we have there, you know.
That's right.
This is, you know, the doctors, the lawyers, the prime ministers, the ministers, everything that in front of us here. And we must do something to protect Trinidad and Tobago. This is a nation billionaire. Thank you, God, for the
Nice hearing from you, Mano. Nice hearing from you. Thanks for calling, man. Folks, Trinidad and Tobago, just to let you know, we are at a yellow level alert for Trinidad this time, tropical storm watch. So we are at yellow.
Starting when? Tomorrow?
Yes. So I'm starting tomorrow, Monday, 1st July, as Beryl approaches the southern windwards. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good hands. These youths are speaking out.
Yes.
I first heard this program about the spoken word, and I'm hearing them now speaking about vaping and other things.
Yes.
You all need to open this program up to them more often.
Yes, we will.
More often they are speaking out. And I feel very safe to know my country is safe. These future generations, and to the lady with the pension, yes, I need my pension, please. I am 65 and I don't smoke, I don't drink. You all are wonderful to know that you have taken care of the country. You are educated, you know what you say, and nobody is prompting you all to say this. You all have spoken out this morning, and I hope parents are listening. Those who haven't listened before and are not listening, we want to listen to you all. Bless you all. God bless all of you in the station this morning.
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
bless all the students of Trinidad and Tobago.
All right.
Thank you very much.
And we thank the Ministry of Education for endorsing this competition too as well. Thank you to the Minister of Education. And Madam Bedasie just threatened my pension here, so I just had to...
You have to watch out. You have to watch out.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gad. Good morning, Natasha.
Annette, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning to the parents and these wonderful, brilliant, outspoken youths you have in the studio. I'm looking at them here now on YouTube.
Yes.
Children, with you all in our country is definitely in good hands. Definitely. You're outspoken, you're bright, and you all are not afraid. You're just saying it as it is.
Yes.
And I love you all. I wish you all the best in your upcoming competition. Whether it doesn't matter. All of you all are winners. So God bless you all and much love to you all. Thanks, God and Natasha.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Hello, good morning. And we want to thank the Counter Trafficking Unit as well for coming up with this idea. And we really have to, and the International Organization for Migration for donating the prizes.
Yes.
And of course the Ministry of Education for endorsing this competition. And you all just prompted us to restart the Youth Speak Out forum that we had.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll speak about that later on. Yeah, we want to hear from you all. You all proved it this morning that we need to listen. Hello, good morning. Because
Good morning.
I don't want nobody touching my pension.
To the senators,
Good morning.
the spoken word contestants, their mamas, their papas, and their support group. I want to congratulate you youngsters because peer pressure is real. And you all have to fight against it. Even if you all are considered nerds, don't say them because the nerds are the billionaires and they are all the big businesses. So I want to wish you all the best in the contest. And if you endeavors like your CXC, your keep and so on, continue walking China Road and knock it positively on your cell phones.
Nerds, people are saying
That's one thing we haven't touched on, but
What?
we get there. The social media.
Yeah, no, well, when we have them back, we will discuss
We'll
that.
discuss
We'll get them
that, yeah.
prepare work for Dependency, so you all now have a spot here. Well, I know what the job. Because,
Community service hours and like a certificate.
yes, well, yes, that. But you all will have a segment called Youth Speak Out.
We love to talk. We love to talk.
Yeah, I know.
Talk about
I mean, that's why I entered the competition in first place. Hello, good morning.
And a great morning to you, God, Natasha, and all your guests.
Morning.
That I am so amazed on these young people. I feel so proud to hear each one of them. Their responses were so on point. I'm having bumps. I am so, amazed at each one of those comments, right? And I feel, we are in good hands. And I think each parent there should be so proud of the job that they're doing. And I'm hoping that parents who are listening and having problems with their children, see how wonderful it is when you try harder, because there is not a book to guide us, God, when we are young and before we start having children. But sometimes, you listen. It's hard work, but it's worth it. When you listen to these young people this morning, it's so inspiring. And I want to thank you, and I want to thank Natasha for always bringing something so positive to us. Thank you again.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you so much. And we say good morning to Ricardo and Erica and Matusha and Jasmine and the whole crew on the YouTube channel. Remember, while you're all there, to like and subscribe. Those of you on Facebook as well.
Yes, please. We need to get the likes.
Yes,
we
like and subscribe.
100 people watching, but only one like. What's that?
Yes. And we have 111 on YouTube. Yeah, come on, Oli, come, like up the channel. Right, we take one more and then we wrap up. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm proud of these children, that these young people that you have this morning. The words are so heavy. One would want to believe that they are children that speak in there. And I'm only hearing the girls. And it have a king right there. So
King Anton.
When I get off this phone, I want to hear him say something.
All right.
All right.
Anton, you have the closing remarks. On behalf of everybody, Anton, come closer to the microphone, King. The only man. Thank you, caller. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Anton, you have the final word. We have 2 minutes before news at 12. Onika is going to walk through that door just now. Final word.
Well, I was enjoying myself being quiet, but on behalf of everybody here, I feel like they all agree. I would say thank you to everybody to set up this. I would say thank you for letting us have a voice to speak out. Also, this is an amazing competition, and I would like to thank everybody here as well for doing this. And yeah, I would like to tell everybody have a great day, a great evening.
And we give yourself a round of applause. You all brought your game this morning. We really appreciate it. We will love to keep this crew together after the competition. Give you all several Sundays to come and speak, because you start the ball a role in mental health. And I think we need to listen some more to you all. And you all have the opportunity right here to do so. So just say bye to the people. Bye to... All right.
The camera's up there.
Yeah, the camera up there. Right, bye-bye. All right, so folks, thank you all very much for joining us this morning on our Dependency. We had a wonderful time. Thank you all of those who sent your love and support. Remember, the spoken word competition is on Tuesday at Sapa from 9. What time you all have to get there for?
We have to get there 45 minutes prior.
Right, so...
Starts at 10, ends at 1.
Right, starts at 10, ends at 1 at Sapa. And we're going to have a great time. We're going to have the results for you, of course. And of course, on Jamaica, yes. We'll go to the... Yeah, I know. But folks, we're going to talk about Jamaica next week, because we had a great time in Jamaica. We showed the film, and we all get to see the film, our film Trafficking. Yes, we have a film for you all to see as well. That one will break your heart. So, yeah. So, thanks a lot. Thanks again. Storm and Tom, thank you very much. God bless you all, folks. Have a great day. And major news up next at 12 with Onika James. Take care. Bye-bye.